Hi everybody from a gorgeous evening here in Central Portugal. The rain has been on and off for the past couple days, but mostly off, and that's meant I've been able to get to several jobs on the land, including stuff relating to jaggy things like cacti and brambles, plus I've also pruned some trees and moved some stuff around, and I did do a little bit of work inside and I finished off the shutter on my door. So it's a fun video with outside stuff for the first time in a while, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again at the end. Check it out, guys. We have sunshine, and it's gonna stick around, I think, for the next couple weeks, at least according to the weather forecast. And I'm gonna be positive, I'm gonna choose to trust this weather forecast because the idea of more rain is too much to bear. And just look at these glorious blue skies. It's lovely out here. But before I head out into the sunshine, I'm actually gonna finish off one small thing indoors. And that's because even though the sun is shining and the skies are blue, it still is quite cold out here. I'm still in pajamas and slippers mode, and I figured that I'd finish off something inside so I can get all my tools away finally. I'd love to tidy up in here since the weather's gonna be nice and I can move the operation outdoors. Hi, little guy. He loves this spot. It's like he hasn't moved for days. Go on, Larry, the sun is shining. Go outside. Enjoy this day. Or just hang out on the couch, that also works. So basically, the place is a mess. I still have some tools and things inside, and I really wanna get this shutter onto the window finally. I don't have a top hinge for keeping it secure, I mean a latch, but I do have a bottom hinge, and I'm just gonna get it on, and perhaps I can come up with something to hold it in place, just maybe a piece of wood or something as a temporary solution. So let's get this thing in place, and then we'll head outside where I have the pruning tools at the ready. I've got the tool of joy ready to go, batteries charged, and the mini chainsaw as well. So I've got lots of trees that I'd love to get to, but first, the shutter. Okay, it doesn't hang exactly straight, but it's quirky, and this hinge actually seems a little bit wobbly, so perhaps I didn't choose the best of hinges, but I can replace it later if it's a problem. I'm gonna see if I can find something up here to add as a latch, but for the moment, I think it looks pretty good. What do you think, sir? Have you decided to join the land of the living? Gonna go outside and start your day? Come on, off you go. See you later, Larry. So I'm still in pajamas mode, and it's about 12:30 now. It's amazing how quickly the time goes. So I'm gonna have some lunch, and then, oh, hello, sir. They're both out enjoying the day. All right, he's off. And then after lunch, I'm gonna hit the pruning. So I'll see you guys soon for some, I think, pomegranate pruning, and then I'm gonna go down to the almond tree and get started on that. But first, let's greet Mikey, because he's been quiet lately. Hasn't made too many appearances on the couch. All right, enough talking to cats. It's making me look crazy. I'll see you guys soon. Okay, one more cuddle. Oh, they're just too cute. They're just too cute. All right, I'm off. Gonna eat lunch, and I'll see you guys soon from, I think, the pomegranate tree. I'm back. I'm fed. The sun is still out. I'm wearing appropriate footwear and clothing. Finally, the pruning tools are ready to go, but before I head over there, I wanted to address the window. A lot of people have asked me what I'm gonna do about the screen. I took it out when I was working on everything, and my intention is to put something back. I've got a little lip here, as you can see, and I'll try to find some way of attaching the screen, possibly using a type of putty or something like that, maybe tiny nails or staples or something. I'll see. I still need to buy the screen, but as of right now, the weather is still cold and bug-free, so the window is mostly closed. Okay, I feel like I've been waiting for a day like this for ages, and I'm anxious to get going, so I'm gonna start the pruning work with the pomegranate tree, but before I get to that, I'm gonna deal with a plant that has become my nemesis. And that plant is Jaggy Jack, the cactus, and it's time to cut him down to size. So Jaggy Jack, the cactus, came to me as a little baby. He was once a cutting, and he's grown into a monster, and it's actually even bigger than I thought. He goes all the way up here, and it's impossible to move it anywhere without getting annihilated by these spikes. So I'm gonna chop him down to size, but first let's drag him out a bit and see what I'm dealing with. Come on, Jaggy Jack, come out into the open so I can deal with you. He's stuck, and I don't know how to get him unstuck. This thing is so treacherous. Basically been neglected or in some state of sidewaysness for the past year, maybe more. And yeah, he wants to live, that's for sure. So I'm gonna chop off some of the healthiest looking, I don't know, legs, arms, whatever, and stick them into these pots so I can keep him, because I have visions of a beautiful future cactus garden of some sort. And since Jaggy Jack wants to live, I'm gonna keep him around for a bit longer in a more manageable form. So that's annoying. I chopped off some of Jack's arms and the camera was on the wrong setting, so I didn't capture it. But I'm gonna put some of the bigger ones in there. Oops. In you go, Jack. Ow! I don't know why I'm keeping this thing, honestly. The trauma it's caused me over the years, but I do love a cactus, so I'm gonna see if I can, we can, I don't know, work something out where we can live together responsibly. If I eventually tuck him away in some sort of a garden to keep us all safe, that would be ideal. But having it in manageable sized pots where I can actually move them around without threat to my safety is good. The problem right now is that I can't actually move it anywhere. So let's see. I think what I might do is keep this main stem, chopping it down to be a bit shorter. I'll take these guys off and a bit more manageable. and I'll repot the main stem into a larger pot. I don't know the best way to do this, but as I mentioned, this plant has been sorely neglected and is living on, so I have confidence that it's going to be fine. All right, so let's keep that one, and maybe I'll take a little one from this side, little baby. Maybe I'll take 2 little babies. Come on, and we'll save all of these ones. And I want to say I'll put the rest in my compost, but then I will be afraid of my compost. So I don't know the best way to dispose of these, but for the moment, we're gonna put them into pots, and I'll come up with a method of disposal for the rest of it at another time. Okay, the sons of Jaggy Jack are in place, and I was only punctured about 5 times during this process. I have to say I'm questioning my wisdom in propagating these. It's a fierce plant, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with 6 of them. I have visions of turning this entire upper terrace from what has kind of become a dumping ground into eventually a garden with a section for cacti and for succulents and all sorts of things as well. So, do I need 6 of these things? Probably not. Do people like to receive treacherous cacti as gifts? Also probably not, so I might have gone a little bit mad here with how many I repotted, but you know what? We'll see what happens. I'll keep you updated on Jaggy Jack and his progress. But right now, it's time to prune this very neglected pomegranate tree. So neglected that I didn't even pick the fruit, and now they've kind of become fossilized weird things. So I'm gonna start by pulling the weeds, and then I'm gonna look online to see how to deal with this. So as you can possibly tell, I've never really given this thing a serious prune, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I did have a quick look on the internet, and it told me to prune the suckers, which I've done. It's January, February is the time to prune, so I'm on it there. And then it's a matter of taking up anything dead, anything crossing over, while also leaving 3 to 6 main stems. So I'm wondering if I might choose these 4 as the main stems. And then I also want to try to clean out the middle and also top things off by 1/4 to 1/3, just to keep the height under control and to encourage growth as well. So the cactus isn't the only one with the spikes. I don't know if you can see that, but pomegranate also has some pretty vicious looking things on there. Maybe it doesn't want to be pruned, but I have the tool of joy, so I'm gonna win this battle. So I think that's looking a lot better already. Alright, get a little extra cactus soil on there. And I'll come and put some more horse poo stuff and more compost on the tree later on. But for the moment, it's fine. It's much better than it was. And I'm going to call it a night on work because I have plans later. And I still have to go cut more firewood. It's going to become a regular thing. I'm trying to fight the urge to get another order of firewood because there's so much of it hanging around the place. I just have to cut it, which is annoying. But it's much better to use stuff I already have than to buy another load of wood. and any load that I buy would probably be wet anyways, just because of the time in the season that it is. So I'm gonna call it on tree work. I didn't get to the almond tree, but that's gonna be next on my list, along with oranges, and maybe I'll do an olive tree, and who knows what else. So it's about 11:30 in the morning, and I have been hiding away inside, waiting for things to warm up a little bit. The sun is out, but it still is quite chilly. And I have a monster almond tree that's just starting to bud, and it's definitely time to prune this thing. So you can see some buds are forming there, and I feel like you're really supposed to prune the tree before it starts to bud, but it's been way too wet, and there's only a few buds so far, so I'm not so worried about it. As you can see, this tree is enormous, so I'm really gonna try to bring down the height a bit. So that's what the ladder's for. Most of my trees are a lot more manageable at this stage. This one's only about 5 years old, and it's one of the first ones I planted, so it's doing really, really well, despite the fact that I actually had a burn pile there, and I sort of singed a lot of the leaves that were on this side of the tree. So it survived, and now I'm gonna give it a bit of a cut. Filming while pruning while up a ladder, is it wise? I'm gonna say it's not wise. So I've got this long branch here, and my gut is telling me to take it down to the same level as these other ones. So I'm gonna follow my gut and do that. And I might just bring it down to here. That's probably too thick a branch to actually do with these, but I'm gonna try anyway, because I do love the tool of joy, and it often surprises me. Or maybe I'll chop it there. There we go. You can come off, and you can come off. And then I think, what to do? Actually, no, I'm gonna take it down here. All right, I'm happy with that. I think at least the whole thing's a lot smaller, so I can actually pick the almonds off before the birds get to them. I think my biggest harvest so far was 3 almonds, because yeah, I don't know what gets to them. I swear there's loads of them on there, and then I look away and then they're all gone. So I'm keeping some sort of wildlife happy with this almond tree, but I definitely haven't been able to reap the rewards yet myself. So maybe I'll stick some like old CDs or noisy things on the tree to see if I can keep the critters away from it. I'm open to suggestions for anyone out there that has an almond tree. And for the moment, I'm happy with it, and I'm excited to see how this thing hopefully thrives over the spring. Okay, on to the next one. I think I'm gonna do the neem tree because that one has never actually ever been pruned. And I think I can do it with the saw. I don't think I need the mini chainsaw. But basically the neem tree is also only 5 years old. I planted it as one of the first trees I ever planted here. And it's growing so fast. That's the whole point of these things, I think, is that they're fast growers. As you can possibly see, the wind got to it when it was a baby, and it's kind of all slanting that way, which I don't want. So I'm gonna take off this big branch here. I'm gonna take off this lower branch, and then I'm gonna take off also this one over here. And a part of me also wants to take off this one so it grows more straight and more into my land rather than into the path, which could be treacherous with the wind. But I might make that decision next year. We'll see. So, let's give this neem tree its first ever prune. Most of these branches on the tree are obviously quite large, so I'll end up doing 2 cuts. But for this one, I can support it as I cut it, so it'll be fine. But for the other ones, they're gonna be very heavy. And if I cut them right at the base of the tree, they're gonna wanna sort of rip the bark off as they go down. So I'll do 1 cut to get them off, and then another cut to tidy it up. But this one, I got a nice clean cut. And now I guess I need to look up whether I can use neem tree as kindling or firewood or what, because I'm about to have a pretty decent amount of it. So I've been meaning to do that job for so long. I still have some branches up there that are crossing over that maybe I'll take off, but I think what I'll do is just leave this tree for this season and come back to it after I observe for a year and see what's up. So next up, let's swap the saw out for the tool of joy and tackle my apple tree. So I'm definitely gonna have a lot of tidying up to do once I finish this day. Some of the stuff I'll cut into kindling for next year, and some of it I'll just add to my burn pile that I still haven't done down in the bottom terrace because it's been raining since I created it. So I pruned my apple trees and my pear trees last year after taking a course with a friend. And so this guy isn't so out of control. As with all of the other trees, at least the ones I know, you want to take off anything that's crossing and anything that's dead. You want to keep the middle clear. This is looking pretty good. And then with apples and pears, you also want to take off the ones that are going straight up and also shorten everything up a little bit just to encourage growth. And that's what I'm gonna do. Glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. All right, you can come. Get off. So I have 2 apple trees. One on the bottom terrace was completely crazy last year, and it still looks a little crazy, but it's a lot better than it was. And that one gave me apples the first year, and this one has never given me apples. So I'm hoping that with a little bit of love and attention, this is gonna be the year. I feel confident in you, apple tree. Give me some nice juicy apples, and I'll be very, very happy. There, there, and let's take that one off, there. So I'm no expert, guys. As with everything, I'm definitely open to advice and suggestions, but it's all a learning process, and it's something I really, really enjoy and I'm quite interested in. And so yeah, I think that's looking a lot better. I mean, it's hard to tell until the leaves start to grow what the shape of the tree is going to be like. I feel like perhaps I don't want these two so close together, and I think I might take off this bottom one here. Off you go. All right, let's call that one done. So I had a pretty late start to my day, and I'm hoping to power on through a lot of stuff. So we're gonna do a few things the fast way. Starting with these crazy out of control grapes on this gnarly old vine. I think these old vines are beautiful, but they definitely need to be kept under control. It's going all the way up into my olive tree, and it's time to show it who's boss and to tame the vine. So let's bring out the glove snap and see how it works. Okay, just like that, the grapes are done. I've ended up hacking off some of the parts that were going out this way and that away. It was just getting entangled and everything, including in the tree. You can see some grapevines still hanging up there. And I've basically cut everything down to a couple of buds above the base, which I believe is what you're supposed to do. I've hacked off lots of small stuff. And these grapes actually do produce pretty well, so I like having them there. It's just they got quite a bit out of control, so I'm happy to have them tamed for the moment anyway. And now I think I'm gonna continue on this terrace. I've started a little burn pile area, and rather than tackling the bottom part of my land just yet, I think I'm gonna go terrace by terrace, keep everything a little bit more manageable. And that means that I'm gonna tackle this wall of brambles, and then I might also try to get to that massive, ugly pile of wood that I've been neglecting for probably a couple years now. And if I'm feeling really energetic by the end of the day, I'll try to do some strimming as well. So I've got lots on my plate. Next up, this. So brambles definitely require 2 gloves. These things are fierce, and I definitely do not love them. Last year they gave me berries, but I actually have other brambles around the place, and these ones are really annoying because a guy that owns the land down there, he comes by in his tractor, and they often sneak into the path and probably terrorize him on his way past. So I do find that he's actually the one that ends up cutting them back because I just always forget about them. So that's me being a bad neighbor, and I'd rather be a good neighbor. So I'm gonna cut these back, and then I'm gonna see if I can dig out the roots as well. But I don't know if anyone has ever successfully gotten rid of brambles by digging the roots out. They always seem to reappear. But if I can hold them off for a little while, I'll be happy. All right, here we go. All right, so this is gonna take a while. So far I haven't been punctured, I'm all good, but I'm being very careful and it's going slowly. So here's where I'm at now. And you'll see me again soon when this stuff is all gone and this stuff is all in the burn pile. Okay, the evil brambles have been relegated to the burn pile. They will perish very soon. And I just wanted to show you this lovely night we're having. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a light sprinkling of rain, a dusting really. It's actually quite lovely. The light's wonderful. And I'm kind of in a race against time because I'd love to get the strimmer out, at least to strim some paths so I can walk and see where I'm going, because there's some massive puddles hiding underneath all of this grass. But before I get to that, I want to tackle this pile here, which has been sitting here for possibly 2 years, maybe longer. All this stuff I can round up and use as kindling. And then this stuff, some of it is the right length to burn, and a lot of it needs to be chopped down to size. Obviously it's been sitting out in the rain, so it's not really usable at the moment. But I think with a few days of drying time, sticking it into a hot fire, it'll be fine. So as with the brambles, let's get rid of this the fast way. Okay, I'm back. I have a lovely pile of wood, well, kind of manky actually, pile of wood, ready for chopping down to side for the log burner. I've got a very manky pile of wood over here that I'll probably just chuck into the burn pile. I mean, like, what even is this stuff here? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. We've got mushrooms growing down here still, and it still is kind of a mess, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. So I have 4 buckets of the smallest stuff in the collapsed polytunnel, hopefully to use either next year for kindling or possibly this year. And I have a couple of buckets up top of stuff that's the correct size for the wood burner. So it's great to have those things cleared away, and that was my main goal, to get around to tidying this up a bit. But I'm not going to be able to finish it off until I get a burn pile going so I can get rid of the manky stuff, and then I also want to get our chainsaw back so I can chop that more easily. Using the circular saw or the tiny chainsaw wouldn't really work so well. It'd probably be a little bit too tricky, so I'm going to wait it out, and hopefully we can collect the chainsaw next week. Unfortunately, it's being repaired. Well, it actually is repaired, but the place is about an hour from where we live, so getting it's kind of annoying. Anyway, I'm happy with the work I've done down here. I was going to strim. I even have the strimmer out on the front porch ready to be restrung, but the rain has been coming down on and off, and I'd really rather not end my day soaking wet. So I'm gonna leave the strimming until tomorrow, hopefully, and finally finish off as much of the terrace as I can, get it as tidy as I can, and then move on to the next one, which might be this top terrace, because I gotta say, the dumping ground is getting bad again, and I'd really like to tidy that up and do some weeding up here and get things ready for when I get to work on the tool shed. So I have Larry just down here. Looks like he's munching on a rodent of some kind. He does love rodents. I think it's his favorite meal. I'm just happy he's eating it there instead of in my house. He usually likes to chomp them on the bathroom floor, so that's much better for me. And I think I'm gonna finish this day off and this video off with one more task inside the house. Let's see if I can get something that allows me to close the shutter so I can finish that job once and for all. Did you have a nice little snack? Yeah? Yeah? He's a surprisingly good hunter. He does seem kind of enormous, but he must be quite agile because he gets several creatures per day, which I guess is bad news for the creatures, but good news for my house. Because when I first got here, there was definitely a mouse problem, and now there definitely is not. So thank you, Larry, I appreciate it, and I like it when you eat them outside instead of inside. But enough talking to cats, seems to be a theme of this video. Let's get to the shutter. Let's get to the shutter, Larry, come on. Come on, let's go. I know. Okay, I've come up with a temporary solution. I was actually gonna make something permanent, but the drill and the driver are down at Sinead's place, and I just can't be bothered to go get them. So there we go, open, close. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like from a bit farther away, and then also from the outside, because I think it looks pretty cool. Hard to see with the glare. Let's open it up. I love it. I enjoyed working on the shutter. I am happy it's in place, and I think it does the job. It looks cool from the outside. It's annoying that it doesn't hang vertically on the inside, but I just need to get over myself and accept that some things are just going to be squinty, because that's just how life goes sometimes when you're doing your own DIY project, and I'm going to accept it and move on. So that's enough from this video. It's been a really long one and packed with a bunch of different things. The main feature has been getting back outside into this glorious weather. This is what I'm in Portugal for, a sunny winter day, and they're back, and hopefully they're gonna stick around for a while. So I'm gonna end the video now. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.